Why is India great? 50 reasons why India is great. India, the land of diversity, festivals, colors, delicious food, is also the land of many discoveries. Not one, not two, let's talk about 50 different reasons why India is like no other country. Also, please don't forget to like the video and also press the subscribe button to not miss out any future updates. Point number 1. The Mahabharata, Maha, which means big, and Bharata means India, is the longest epic poem book known and has been described as the oldest and longest poem ever written. But what's interesting is that Mahabharata is not just any religious scripture. Whole inscriptions give the date of the Kurukshetra war mentioned in Mahabharata happened around 3102 BCE. Point number 2. Many believe the Mahabharata war is said to have occurred before the transition of Dwapara Yuga to Kali Yuga, concept of 4 yugas according to Hindus. Dating the Mahabharata war and the start of Kali Yuga has been elusive and going on for many centuries. Point number 3. Mahabharata is not just a story, but a detailed account of an event that occurred in the past. There is enough archaeological and scientific evidence to prove the Mahabharata. It has been written in the epic from time to time that Mahabharata is an itihasa, which exclusively means thus occurred. A number of dynasties with their long lineage of kings, more than 50 from Manu, have been presented in the work. If it were just fiction, 4 or 5 kings would have sufficed to build the story on. Point number 4. Marine archaeology has also been utilized in India off the coast of the ancient port city of Dwaraka in Gujarat, uncovering further evidence in support of statements in the Vedic scriptures. An entire submerged city at Dwaraka, the ancient port city of Lord Krishna with its massive fort walls, piers, wharves and jetty, has been found in the ocean as described in the Mahabharata and other Vedic literature. Point number 5. Ramayana, which is another major Sanskrit epics of ancient India, is a fact, not just a story or fiction. It was composed in Sanskrit by the sage Valmiki. At about 24,000 verses, it is a rather long poem and, by tradition, is known as the Adikavya. Ada means original and Kavya means poem. While the basic story is about palace politics and battles with demon tribes, the narrative is interspersed with philosophy, ethics, and notes on duty. The Ramayana most beautifully explores human values and the concept of dharma. It also answers a tough question with great details. Is there a perfect man? Point number 6. In Sigiriya, Sri Lanka, there is a cave that has been tested by archaeologists to be 100% natural. The mysterious part about this cave is that its shape, despite being untouched by human hands, has taken the shape of a cobra. Moreover, this cave still has cave paintings on its walls, depicting scenes of Sita being captured by the Asuras or demon kings. Point number 7. Ram was sentenced to exile by his own father, Dasharatha, on account of a promise that he made to his wife, Ki. Being the obedient son that he was, Ram, along with his beautiful wife Sita and his brother Lakshman, proceeded to the forest, and the place where they built their cottage and lived for the next 14 years is stated to be Panchavati. Here's where the surprising bit comes. There exists a place called Panchavati, near Nashik. It's often claimed that this Panchavati is the same place where Ram, Sita, and Lakshman made as to their abode once they were exiled from the royal palace. Today this place has a lot of temples and is often visited by people. Point number 8. When Sita was abducted by Ravana, there was a demigod called Jatayu who came to Sita's rescue. However, Ravana slew the demigod's wings and he fell to the ground. Meanwhile, Ram and Lakshman found the now dying demigod who was lying on the ground. It was Jatayu who told Ram that it was Ravana who had abducted Sita and it was Lanka where Ram would find his beautiful wife. But alas, Jatayu could not be saved, as he was now breathing his last. In order to thank Jatayu for his brave efforts and for imparting the precious bit of information about Sita's abduction, Ram, with his divine powers uttered the words Lapakshi, which in Telugu means, rise, bird. The fact here is that there is an actual place in Andhra Pradesh called Lepakshi, which is reportedly the place where the Jatayu fell. Jatayu, being a crucial part of saving Sita, is highly revered in the Ramayana. Point number 9. Sita's life in Sri Lanka. When Ravana abducted Sita and got her to his kingdom of Lanka, he is said to have first taken her to a place which is now a tourist spot in Sri Lanka called Sitakatawa. According to the mythological tale, from here Ravana took her to Ashokvataka, and surprise surprise, there is an actual Ashokvanam in Sri Lanka. Don't believe us? You don't have to. You can book your flight tickets, get your Sri Lanka visa and check it out for yourself. Point number 10. There is so much evidence to prove that Ramayana and Mahabharata are a part of ancient history that if continued the video will stretch for hours. Part of the Ramayana narrates that after Ravana found out that Hanuman had come to free Sita, he set Hanuman's tail on fire after attempting to keep him captive. In the process, Hanuman set Ravana's kingdom on fire by jumping over distances and places which were a part of Ravana's kingdom. Even today, in some parts where Ravana's palace once reportedly stood, the soil is somewhat darker than that of the surrounding area. Point number 11. With more than 2 million Hindu temples and 300,000 active mosques, a number which is more actually than most Islamic nations. There are 174 dioceses in India organized into 30 provinces. Of these, 132 are Roman Catholic Church, 31 Syro-Malabar Church, and 11 Malanka or Assyrian Catholic Church dioceses and various other small churches. There are thousands of gurdwaras throughout India with numerous other Buddhist monasteries and Jainism temples. India has more religious places than any other country in the world. Isn't it awesome? Point number 12. The oldest known medical textbooks are the Sushruta Samhita, written in Sanskrit in India, which is written around 600 BC. The hottest place to get a nose job in the first millennia BC was on the banks of the river Ganga in India. There, said to reside in the holy city of Varanasi, was Sushruta, the father of Indian plastic surgery. Point number 13. Ancient Indians knew the earth was round. Indian astronomy has a long history stretching from prehistoric to modern times. Some of the earliest roots of Indian astronomy can be dated to the period of Indus Valley Civilization or earlier. Astronomy later developed as a discipline of Vedanga, or one of the auxiliary disciplines associated with the study of the Vedas. The oldest known text is the Vedanga Jyotisha, dated to 1400 to 1200 BCE. Ancient India discovered that the earth was round with written evidence dating 1500 BCE or older, where other ancient civilization was busy fighting wars. Point number 14. Indians were the first to invent navigation. Forget Marco Polo, forget Christopher Columbus. Indians invented navigation long before the word explorer was coined. Point number 15. India at one point clothed the world. Surprised? Well, not anymore. Indians invented cotton cultivation. When the world was busy making clothes out of skins of hunted animals, Indians taught the world how to cultivate cotton and make clothes using them. Point number 16. Indians were the first to discover and mine diamonds. The earliest diamonds were mined in India around 4th century BC, and interestingly, even today 90% of all diamond cutting and polishing on the planet takes place in Surat in India. Point number 17. Buttons were invented in India and were first used in Mohenjo-daro for ornamental purposes rather than for fastening. They were first used in the Indus Valley Civilization by 2000 BCE. Next time, when you wear a nice shirt, thank India for a cunning fastening technique. Point number 18. India has the world's longest train station. Gorakhpur Junction in India at 1,355.40 meters above sea level is considered to be the longest railway platform not just in India but in the entire world. Point number 19. Varanasi is the oldest city on earth, once known as Benares, can count the famous English author Mark Twain in its corner. Benares is older than history, older than tradition, older even than legend, and looks twice as old as all of them put together. Legend has it that it was first established by Lord Shiva in 3000 BC. Point number 20. India has the highest number of tigers in the world. As per the most recent census, India has 2,226 wild tigers, the highest in the world. Point number 21. The country where the number 0 is invented. We can thank India for the discovery of the number 0. Number 0 fulfills a central role in mathematics as the additive identity of the integers, real numbers, and many other algebraic structures. As a digit, 0 is used as a placeholder in place value systems. Point number 22. The world's first university was established in Takshila in India. As early as 700 BC, there existed a giant university at Takshashila named Nalanda University located in the northwest region of Bharat, India. Did you know that the university at Nalanda functioned from 500 to 1300 AD until destroyed by invaders? During the 800 years that the university was operational, it attained great fame. Its campus was 1 mile in length and a half-mile in width. It also had 300 lecture halls with stone benches for sitting. Laboratories and other facilities were also available. For example, the university had a towering observatory called the Ambudara of Life for astronomical research. It has boasted a massive library called Dharmaganj or Mountain of Knowledge that was set up in 3 buildings named Ratnasagar, Ratnadavi, and Ratnayanjak. The entrance examination was very difficult and the pass rate was 3 out of every 10 students. Despite this hurdle, the Chinese traveler, Hien Tsang wrote in his diary that 10,000 students and 200 professors were at Nalanda University. Point number 23. Rulers were first used by the Indus Valley Civilization prior to 1500 BCE. Made of ivory, the rulers found during excavation reveal the amazing accuracy of decimal subdivisions on it. Point number 24. The word shampoo is derived from champo. It was initially used as a head massage with oil and natural herbs. It evolved into shampoo over the years. Point number 25. The Fibonacci numbers were first described in India by Vira Ika, Gopala, and Hemakendra as an outgrowth of earlier writings by Pingala. Point number 26. Decimal system, quadratic formula. It was in 7th century CE when Brahmagupta found the first general formula for solving quadratic equations. The decimal system, or the Hindu number system, which was a precursor of the Arabic numeric system, was developed in India between the 1st and 6th centuries CE. Point number 27. Indian physician Sushruta, 6th century BCE, had the knowledge of performing cataract surgery. It spread to China from India. Greek scientists would visit India to get operations done and also to learn the nitty-gritty. Point number 28. Water on Moon. ISRO's Chandrayaan-1 made the startling discovery that our moon is not a dry ball of rocks. The discovery of lunar water is attributed to the Chandrayaan mission. Point number 29. Radio and wireless communication. We all know that Marconi received a Nobel Prize in Physics in 1909 for contributing to the development of wireless telegraphy. But the first public demonstration of radio waves for communication was made by Sir Jagdish Chandra Bose in 1895, 2 years prior to Marconi's similar demonstration in England. Sir Bose was posthumously credited, more than a century later, for his achievement. The fact remains that this discovery truly shaped the face of modern wireless communication. Point number 30. Flush toilets were first used in the Indus Valley Civilization. These existed in most homes and were connected to a sophisticated sewage mechanism. The civilization was prominent in hydraulic engineering. Point number 31. Binary code. Binary numbers were first described by Pingala, in 200 BC. Pingala is the traditional name of the author of the Chandasastra, the earliest known Sanskrit treatise on prosody. Point number 32. Discovery of ink. Many ancient cultures and civilizations independently discovered and prepared ink for writing purposes. The source of carbon pigment used in Indian ink, called music, used in ancient India. Since the 4th century BC, the practice of writing with ink with a sharp-pointed needle was common in South India. Point number 33. Ancient Indians were pioneers in metallurgy. High-quality steel was produced, almost 2,000 years before it was understood by the West. One of the most remarkable feats in metallurgy, creating a seamless celestial globe, was invented in Kashmir. It was earlier considered impossible to create a metal globe without seams. Did you know? Costume supplier of the famous episode Game of Thrones was Rangersons, based in New Delhi in northern India. So thanks to India, the winter has come. Point number 34. Fiber optics. Named as one of the 7 unsung heroes by Fortune magazine, Dr. Narendra Singh Kapani is widely recognized as the father of fiber optics for his pioneering work in fiber optics technology. Point number 35. Plastic surgery. Yes, you heard it right. Indians were pioneers in plastic surgery too. It was carried out in India as early as 2000 BCE. So, we've always been a cool country. Point number 36. India gave the world a cure for leprosy. Kearns and Nash, 2008, state that the first mention of leprosy is described in the Indian medical treatise Sushruta Samhita, 6th century BCE. However, the Oxford Illustrated Companion to Medicine holds that the mention of leprosy, as well as ritualistic cures for it, were described in the Atharva Veda, 1500 to 1200 BCE, written before the Sushruta Samhita. Point number 37. Ayurveda originated from India. Ayurveda is an ancient system of medicine that dates back to Iron Age India, 1st millennium BC, and is still practiced today as a form of complementary and alternative medicine. Point number 38. Bhaskara rightly calculated the time taken by the Earth to orbit the Sun. Using an astronomical model developed by Brahmagupta in the 7th century, Bhaskara accurately defined many astronomical quantities, including the length of the sidereal year, the time that is required for the Earth to orbit the Sun. Point number 39. Seismograph is an Indian invention. It is a device for measuring growth in plants and was invented in the early 20th century by Sir Jagadish Chandra Bose. Point number 40. USB was developed and defined by Ajay V. Bhatt, who is an Indian-American computer architect. You can also credit him for AGP, Accelerated Graphics Port, PCI Express, Platform Power Management Architecture, and various chipset improvements. Point number 41. India taught the world to cultivate jute. Jute has been cultivated in India since ancient times. India also exported raw jute to the Western world, where it was used to make ropes and cordage. Point number 42. The trigonometric functions sine and versine originated in Indian astronomy. They were described in detail by Aryabhata in the late 5th century but were likely developed earlier in astronomical treatises of the 3rd or 4th century. Later, the 6th century astronomer Varamahir discovered a few basic trigonometric formulas and identities, such as sin 2x plus cos 2x equals 1. Point number 43. The Pentium chip was invented by an Indian. Vinod Dham is also known as the father of the Pentium chip, for his contribution to the development of highly successful Pentium processors from Intel. Point number 44. India gave candied sugar to the world. The process of producing crystallized sugar from sugarcane was discovered by the time of the imperial Guptas, and the earliest reference of candied sugar comes from India. The process was soon transmitted to China with traveling Buddhist monks. Chinese documents confirm 2 missions to India, for obtaining technology for sugar refining. Point number 45. We taught the world what was being rich like. We contributed about 33% of the world's GDP around 2,000 years back. The stories of Indian wealth were so popular that Columbus set his ships sail to find a route to India. He instead discovered America. Point number 46. A significant contribution in the field of healthy living, India introduced the world to yoga, discovered and practiced in the country since ancient times, with origins tracing back to Lord Shiva, also known as Adi Yoga, the first yoga guru. Today, people practice this spiritual, physical, and mental exercise across the world on a daily basis for healthy living. Moreover, the world celebrates International Yoga Day on June 21 every year, and the man responsible for this day is none other than India Prime Minister Mr. Narendra Modi, who initiated the concept of practicing yoga and celebrating it as Yoga Day. Point number 47. Rocket missiles. It was India, and it was none other than Tipu Sultan, the ruler of Mysore, and his father Hyder Ali that first used the iron-cased and metal cylinder rockets against the British East India Company in 1780. Point number 48. Einstein's quantum statistics. The scientifically advanced Germans have long been considered to be some of the world's most ardent intelligists. Prominent German genii from Albert Einstein to the Nazi scientists and inventors who later migrated to the United States or USSR were eager students of Indian texts such as the remarkably advanced Upanishads. Such texts were often referenced during the 20th century race to create nuclear technology, space rockets, jet engines, and even mind control technologies, all of which are examined in India's ancient texts. India, the land of Vedas, the remarkable works contain not only religious ideas for a perfect life but also facts which science has proved true. Electricity, radium, electronics, airship, all were known to the seers who founded the Vedas," said Wheeler Wilcox. Like many Indian inventors before him, the 20th-century Bengali scientist Satyendra Nath Bose is one of modern science's unheralded heroes. His work provided the foundations for quantum statistics, which were later endorsed, developed and published by Einstein. The 2001 Nobel Prize for Physics was awarded to German and US scientists for their study of condensates, which was in fact first conducted by, and even named after, Bose. The widely covered God particle, the Higgs boson, is deservedly known to be attributed to Peter Higgs, the British genius behind the Higgs particle. The other, less well-known half of the Higgs boson is named yet again after Bose, for his groundbreaking contributions to particle physics. Point number 49. The world's highest outsourcing IT companies. India has occupied its position among top IT outsourcing countries in 2020. The country is working in this direction for more than 25 years. Point number 50. The bridge is seen from space. Adam's Bridge or Ramsata translating to bridge was declared to be man-made by scientists and geologists. After new evidence was provided by NASA, this 30 kilometers long bridge, which was constructed 1.2 million years ago, went against the then popular belief that it was a natural phenomenon, created by the corals. The sea separating India and Sri Lanka is called Seethasamudram, or the Sea of the Bridge apostrophe. This bridge is constructed during Ramayana times. So are there any inventions on the list we missed? Please discuss in the comment section.